Welcome to my trading room. This is Altcoin Day Trading, Cardano, the best Elliott wave analysis, episode number 15. So today I want to take a brief look at Cardano with you because I have to look at something if I do an intervention. So I haven't done it in quite a while on Cardano, so it's time to take a look again at Cardano. So I will do that. As always, I'll start with Ichimoku and then I talk about its Elliott wave labeling. But first, I want to make a small introduction. And during that introduction, I want to talk a little about trading. Since this is a channel dedicated to trading, real trading. And I haven't done as many updates as I wanted to do on my YouTube channel. And that is because I was quite occupied with trading. I was trading as usual. And I also took a look at my results. And I have an objective, a percentage, an amount of money that I want to make during a certain time span. And well, when I take a look at my results, I realized that I didn't make it for now. So that exposed me to some kind of psychological suffering, because I know that it should be achievable, but I haven't made it. So there's something wrong with my trading that prevented me from achieving my goal. So I had to think about my trading again, and I had to make some changes. The biggest change that I did is I stopped trading. I think I was trading too many things simultaneously, and that didn't make much sense. So I stopped, the change I just did is just simply reducing the markets I trade. So I've reduced it to Bitcoin, gold, US oil, crude oil, and the S&P, Dow Jones, and the IWM. So I reduced my trading to 4. Maximum, I should now have 4 positions: 1 position on gold, on Bitcoin, 1 position on gold, 1 position on crude oil, and 1 position on the S&P. I reduced it to that. So I let go of all the rest, like Tesla, Amazon, Apple, and altcoins, because I was just trading too much stuff, and that didn't make much sense in my trading plan. So I wanted to reduce it. And that's the biggest change I made. In the past, I have made a lot of changes. I was trading quite a lot of altcoins. And if I would do that still, I would, for example, be trading Rune, because it is behaving very impulsively, but I'm not gonna bother with it, because trading too many altcoins, I've realized that there are periods where it works fine and you seem to make a lot of money on them, but there are periods where you go through drawdowns and you give away a lot of what you made. So it doesn't really make sense. And that technique that I used, I stopped using it. But I already did that a couple of months ago. So, and now again, I did make a couple of changes by reducing my actual position size to 4 positions. I might do more changes in the future. If I realize, for example, that I make the most money on the S&P, then I will stop trading the rest, for example. Or and I could try to make also Asian markets or European markets if I make more money on stocks. I don't know that right now, but by that I'm just trying to tell you that I'm still trying to improve, because I still want to achieve my goal and I haven't realized it right now. So the thing is that for me, when I'm exposed to suffering for one reason or the other, it is a strong force that allows me to grow and become a better human being and a better trader, a better philosopher, a better trader, a better husband, a better human being in general. When I suffer, because when I suffer for one reason or the other, it shows me that there's something not as it could be or as I'm expecting it to be. That's why I suffer. And that gives me the motivation to try to find a solution and to improve. So this year, I'm doing a huge commitment to trading, and I don't have to do this. That's what you probably don't understand. I don't have to do it. And don't think that I'm just some rich guy and that it was easy for me. I can guarantee you that that's not the case. I don't like talking too much about my past, because I don't think it's that useful in general. And I don't like complaining and telling people that I had such a bad childhood. I don't like doing that. I think you should not do it. Even if it's true, you should not do it. But when I say I don't have to do this, I want you to understand that I'm in a position where I can say, and that's what I did, that I will take 12 months of my years, of my life, and do a huge commitment with time, research, and money for trading. And I don't have to do it. I had a very difficult childhood. And I don't want to go into details because I don't think it matters. But I had a very difficult childhood. I can only compare it to some people who went through a very rough time. For example, I did read a book about a North Korean refugee. And she, to make it short, she was starving to death in North Korea. Then she managed to flee out of North Korea. She risked her life by fleeing out of North Korea. Defectors get punished by death if they flee from North Korea. So it's not a joke. It's very hard, and a lot of people don't make it when they try to flee from North Korea. But she made it. She managed to get through to cross the border and went to China. And there she was sold as a slave a couple of times. She was also raped. Her mother was raped, and she went through a very rough time until she made it into South Korea, where she became a refugee. And there she started to study, and she made it into university in just 1 year. And that's extremely, extremely difficult when you come from such a backward country like North Korea. It is extremely difficult to get into university when you are South Korean and you study 20 years to get there. It is extremely difficult because it's extremely competitive and most people won't make it. But she made it. And then she started in South Korea, and then she started in the USA. But don't think that it's a happy ending. Life is not that simple. It's not just because you managed to flee from North Korea and now you are living under something called democracy, which is just a scam, a different kind of scam, but still a scam. And it's not that different because there are a lot of similarities between North Korea and our countries. It's less bad here, but there are a lot of similarities. They do the same thing. It's the same thing in North Korea than here. It's just that the law are harsher and you have a little less liberties, and people are treated more severely from the regime. But they have law, they have courts, they have judges, they have politicians, they have the same thing as we do, but everything is much harder. And it's so backward, as she says, that she had to give her thesis to the government once a year. And if you don't give enough thesis to the government once a year, you get punished extremely harshly. You get in the concentration camp where they let you starve to death. So it's not a joke. It's really not a joke. You cannot imagine what they went through. So of course, if I compare to such a case, it wasn't that hard. But then again, my life, if I compare it to such a case, it wasn't that hard. But then again, she had a loving family. She had a loving mother. She had a loving parent who did a lot for her, even if they were poor. And when she went to China, she did find people who did also a lot for her, who bought her out of slavery, who dressed her, who gave her money, who tried to help her. So she even if she had it hard, she also had a lot of positive things going for her. I had a very tough childhood, and I didn't have a loving mother. I didn't have a loving father, and I had nobody who cared for me during my entire childhood. And I knew extreme poverty. Okay, I wasn't living in North Korea, but I knew it. And why do I tell you that? Because even with my past, I managed to get some kind of financial freedom. And there are several ways how I did it. I don't want to go into much detail because I don't think that my personal story is that important. What is important is that even if I, who didn't have loving parents, who didn't have anybody who cared for me during more than 20 years, etc., if I achieved some kind of financial freedom that allows me to not have a job from 9 to 5, to don't have to work from somebody, to don't have to take orders from somebody, but I can decide what I do with my life. I can write philosophic books, I can trade, I can play video games all day long. So it's just, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this video intervention. I really don't. I don't need to have any subscribers, and I don't need to have any private clients. I don't mind doing this kind of stuff. I find it even interesting, more interesting trading than video games. But I don't have to. But the thing is, if I manage to get some financial freedom that allows me to live my life as I wish to live it, without taking orders from anybody. Of course, there's a state and all its retarded rules about everything. But apart from that, which I have to obey up to a certain extent, because I don't want to end in prison. But apart from that, I don't have to take orders from anybody. And if I manage to achieve that kind of freedom for myself, it is achievable. By that, I want to say, if I, with my past, made it up to the point where I am today, and I think that there's even room to go, then you can do it also. But you must realize that the journey won't be easy. My childhood was not easy. I did, people treated me as if I was the last scum on earth. They insulted me, they bullied me, they laughed at me, they treated me like the last scum on earth. And still I managed to get some freedom. Still I managed to achieve a lot of my goals, if not all, even if I haven't achieved all of my goals, a lot of my goals. So you might ask, so why do you make your life so hard with trading? My commitment to trading is huge. I've decided to invest a lot of my time, a lot of my effort, a lot of research, and a lot of capital this year to trading. And I don't have to do it. I can spend all day long playing video games if I want. I really don't have to do it. So you might ask, why am I doing it? Because you have to do something in life that interests you. So for me, there are 3 things that interest me. And the most important to me is philosophy. Because if I don't have philosophy, if I don't know how I should live my life, then the rest is makes no sense. If I make millions in the market, it makes no sense if I don't know how to live my life, what to do with those millions. So philosophy is the most important thing. That's why I've written 2 philosophic books. That's why every day I start my day with reading philosophic Stoic text every day for at least, I would say, around 1 hour. for around 1 hour, maybe sometimes 45 minutes, but it might be another day, it might be 1 hour and 15 minutes. So, but around 1 hour, in my first hour every day, I spent it reading philosophic text, ancient philosophic text, Stoic text. And that's why I did write two philosophic books, and I'm finishing my third philosophic book. I'm not making as much progress as I want because I spent too much time trading, not enough time writing my third philosophic book. But just what I want to say is I still make the commitment to trading, the capital and the effort, the intellectual and the time effort to trading, because I find it interesting. And my goal is to realize the following thing. So I just finished one trading book, and I'm starting a new one. So, and the new one starts with the following sentence. I haven't read the book for now. I hope that it's not bad. I think it might be good because I've read a different book from the same author, and the other book was not bad. So this one should be good too. But the book starts with the following sentence. It talks about a trader who had a capital of 300 USD and transformed it into 3 millions. And I'm telling you that because that's possible when you trade. It's not possible when you invest, but when you trade, those kind of results are possible if you become a super trader. And one day, I'm not sure that I can be that, I can have that kind of results, but I can get close to that kind of results. So it is possible to make millions in the markets, millions over a couple of years, 1 or 2 or 3 years, and you make a couple of millions. And that's possible only by trading. So, and I want to get closer to that kind of results. So my objective is not just to make money, but to be capable to always improve. And that's why I took the commitment this year to sacrifice a lot for trading and to put the effort, time and money into trading in order to become a better trader. And I'm not sure if I will achieve my goal. Last time I checked, as I told you at the beginning, I did not. I want to go. I don't want to go from 300 to 3 million in a night, but I want to go in that direction and always improve in that direction. So the last time I looked, my result didn't improve to the amount I expect them to improve. I realized that for now I have failed achieving my result, and that did put me into some pain, psychological pain, not financial pain, but psychological pain. And that psychological pain made me do some research and try to improve my trading system. And I don't know if at the end of those 12 months that I will commit to trading, I will have achieved my goals or even be closer to achieving my goals. Well, I think I will be closer to achieving my goals. Like, I don't know how much I can work in that direction, how much progress I will have made. If I look only at my results, I don't know, but I'm sure that I will learn a lot during these 12 months. And it's 12 months, if I don't realize my goals, it's 12 months that I invest in my education. I will learn the best books. I will take coaching sessions if I find good traders, etc. I will consult other analysis. I will do whatever I can to become a better trader in that period of time. And I think I'll get close to it. That's just to tell you that trading is the hardest job on earth. And I'm doing it because I want to get better at it. And it interests me, it just is for me more interesting than playing a video game. If I'm good at playing a video game, it doesn't matter to me. I don't mind playing some video games when they're not bad, but I mean, it doesn't fulfill me. If I get a better trader and a better human being, it is very rewarding, and it just interests me doing those three things: philosophy, trading, and playing the piano. There are three things that interest me. Well, I think I've bored you to death with my explanation, but it's just to give you the idea that trading is not easy. And no, unless you are extremely lucky, you won't be able to transform 300 into 3 million overnight, and it won't come easy to you. You have to work a lot of you to just go in that direction without even achieving the goal. You have to work a lot of you on yourself, but it's achievable. Trading is a form of drill. You do the same thing over and over and over again. And once you know how to do the technical aspect and the psychological aspect, and you're well enough capitalized, and then it should be quite easy. Once you make it, it's quite easy. It's until you make it and that it is difficult. I've heard also about I've read about somebody who was unhappy while he was trading. But he talked about his past, and in his past, he had a restaurant. And every time he talked about his restaurant, he lightened up. He was extremely happy. He showed pictures, he did show his stuff, his restaurant, his clients, and he was extremely happy and satisfied with managing a restaurant. So that is somebody for whom it is not made to be a trader. He enjoys life more by having a restaurant and providing a service that that is not bad to clients. So for him, trading is not his task of tea. And it's exactly the opposite for me. I would not want to have a restaurant. I do not want to use my time with employees. I do not want to do anything related to a restaurant, and not just a restaurant, everything else. I've read a very ancient book about a guy, I don't remember his name, but it's one of the first trading books. And he writes in his books, every time he did anything else than trading, he lost money. So he made a lot of money trading, but every time he tried anything else, and he tried a lot of stuff, but everything else, he tried pharmaceutical stuff, he tried businesses, he tried a lot of different stuff, and every time he did anything outside of the market, he just lost money. It never worked out. He tried real estate, he tried everything, but nothing ever worked out except trading. And for me, it's a little the same. Nothing else makes sense except trading. That's it. There are different people on this earth, and trading is certainly not for everybody. Just as swimming or tennis playing or football playing or being a lawyer or being a doctor or working in a coffee shop or working for Amazon, whatever you can come up is not for everybody. Or being politician, that's probably the worst thing you can do, but it is not for everybody. So you have to find what is good for you. And I'm fortunate enough to be in a situation where I can say in order for me to become a better trader, I can put the capital on the table, I can put the time on the table, and I can put the effort on the table in order to become a better trader. But what is quite sad is all the people who think that trading is easy money. and they want some kind of shortcut because, for example, they won't listen to this intervention. They won't listen to me. They don't care about Elliott wave. They don't care about Ichimoku, but they still think that they can make a fortune in no time in the markets. And those kind of people, they are on the faster track to the exit. So they disappear all. And I have private clients, and most of them disappear very soon, because they simply realize that trading is hard. And since it's hard, they're not interested. Even if it's possible, even if they can make it, they're not interested because they want easy money, easy and fast money. They don't want any effort, any work. They just want easy and fast money. Now, that all that being said, even if nobody listen to me and I talk to myself, let's take a fast look at my disclaimer and then at Cardano. Here we have my disclaimer. And underneath is the risk warning. The link is in the description. I will fastly talk about my services. So I'm offering live Elliott wave updates. They will cost you 20 USD a month. You will receive updates on US stock, gold, and most on Bitcoin. Between 1 to 3 on Bitcoin, 1 on gold, and normally 1 on stocks, on US stocks. If you're interested, join my free Telegram group and let me know. And if you do that, I always also recommend you to look at my limited time offer, which are private coaching session, and that will cost you an extra 100 USD for 1 hour. Right now, it's a special offer, limited time offer. Okay, and that being said, I now will take a look at Cardano with you. So on Cardano, we are bullish, as you can see right now, just by looking at the chart, because we are above the cloud, and it looks bullish. Your entry would maybe have been once we exceeded this candle. I'm not sure, but I can suppose that it was that case. So let me take my tool that I can draw on the chart. Here you had a breakout of the Kumo cloud because it closed above the Kumo cloud. And then you take the 9 candle high, which was this one. And you could have placed an entry at 0.837. And you would have put your stop loss first below the Kitchuin, which was here at that level. And now it did get up to this level. So right now you would be in a profitable position since we are up here and your stop loss is at that level. I say that this candle was probably the entry because here I think that all the conditions were fulfilled. You had a break out of the Kumo cloud. The future Kumo probably was bullish. Chico was free to move higher. At the time it was here, but it was free to move higher. And the Tenkan was above the Kitchuin, and here Tenkan was above the Kitchuin, and price was above it. So at that level, everything was bullish. The thing that was not probably bullish, or maybe it was Elliott wave. I don't remember, but maybe it was bullish at the time. If Elliott wave was also bullish, you would have taken that entry and you would have placed entry to go long above 0.837. So you would have placed maybe an entry at 0.38. and you would be right now in a profitable position, but you still would have the risk of a loss, because if it moves down and the Kitcherin does not move up, you would lose a little money. Once the Kitcherin crosses is above your entry point, you cannot lose any money anymore on the trade. So that's for Ichimoku. And now I will take a look at the Elliott wave count, the recent Elliott wave count on Cardano. So for the Elliott count, we can say, no, that's not what I want to do. So we can say and that we had a wave 2 bottom here. It was 5 of C of Z, and that we started an impulse wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, forming wave 1. Then we had a correction. So the correction, how you label wave 2, the internals of wave 2 might be up to discussion, but I think that wave C of Z of 2 ended here, but the internals might be up to discussion. So I've labeled it as an impulse wave, a wave here, then an A, B, C forming wave W, then a wave X, then again an ABC forming wave Y, and one more ABC forming wave X, and then one more ABC forming wave Z, A, B, C for wave Z. And from here, we then start, since it's the end of wave 2, we start an impulse wave up. And here there are 2 ways of counting the impulse wave. You can count it as I've put it on the chart, a couple of 1 and 2s, 1, 2, then 1, 2 of an inferior degree, and 1, 4, 2 of a more smaller degree. But that's not the only way to count it. You can also count it as a leading diagonal. Then you would put a 1 here, a 2 here, let me zoom in a little. It will be more easy if I zoom in. So again, we have wave Z of 2 down here, and we start the impulse wave, and you could label it as an impulse wave, a leading diagonal, and then you could label it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you would label this as an A, B, C correction for wave 2. And here up here, you would have wave 1. Anyways, and then you would put a trend line here, because it would be a leading diagonal. That's a way of labeling it, but right now I've labeled it as a series of 1 of 2s. 1, 2, then again a 1, 2, and a 1, 2. So is this perfect? Well, it is not the nicest looking chart, because this 1, 2 is quite big, this one is smaller, which gets a pass, but the third one is again quite big. And to have that many 1, 2s and then get them even bigger, that is, the last one is the biggest of the 3, it's not the most high probabilistic chart. But anyways, for now, we have bullish labeling on Cardano. So we we did have a bearish labeling until the bottom, which occurred below this wave 5. And now it looks like if we have a bullish labeling. But if we look at the retracement, it retraced more than 78.6%. And that's not great too, because that's a big retracement. And once you retrace that much, the probability of breaking the lows, the low here is at 74.59.10 is quite high once you did break that low. But still, if we take a look at Elliott wave, and if we take a look at Ichimoku as we just did, we have to come to the conclusion that it is bullish count. And if you are trading Cardano, you would have entered, as I told you, at this level, a little above this level, and you would have a stop loss on this level. You would exit the position with profit normally as soon as Elliott wave tells you to exit. So you have 1, 2. So now you should have a wave 3, 4, 5, and then you get 4 and 5s until the first wave is over. And you would exit when wave 3. Since you have wave 1 up here and wave 2 down here, you would exit once wave 3 is accomplished. So that's for Cardano. Now I have to ask you one last thing, because I didn't do it until now, and that's to like and comment. It is especially important that you like so that other people can find this and that there is some demand for me posting more stuff on YouTube, free stuff. If there's no demand, then I might stop one day doing it. So it's important for you to like this intervention if you want to see more stuff in the future for free. And that being said, to close out this intervention, I would like to remind you to become a member of my free Telegram group, just to have a second way of communicating with me. You never know when it's useful, when you want to be a private client of mine, to get the latest 8 wave counts on stock, gold, and Bitcoin. So, and the second thing is, you might have a question or you want to talk with some traders, and it's always nice to be in some tribe, in some group of people with who you can talk. You know, trading is quite solitary activity, a lonely activity. By that I mean, I do my work on my own. I look at the chart, I label the chart, I take a decision on when to enter, when to exit, how much capital to deploy, what leverage to take, but I do all that on my own. And even if I read a lot of books and if I consult a lot of people, I still do it on my own. So I think it's quite nice if there's a community with people talking and discussing stuff. And there's, you know, the art is how to use the indicator that I provide you. When I provide you my 8 wave count, the art is how to use it, how to make money out of it. And that's something you have to learn with experience and time. So, and there's a possibility that you find out how to be a super trader before I do. And if it's the case, well, tell us how you did it so that we can learn from you. Okay, anyways, become a member of my free Telegram group. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And maybe, I never promises it because it depends on how much stuff I have to do and what I want to do with my day. But if I find the time, I would do an intervention in this weekend on maybe stocks and gold. And if not, I'll probably see you next week for one more intervention. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye-bye. Enjoy your weekend.